failed to be employed just because of that. And about, I think 3 years ago, the committee met and discussed the issue, and we made it clear that the teacher needs to be employed as much as, even if it is 2 years to retirement, he should be employed. However, this is an issue that cuts across the country, and I want to say that immediately we are back from recess, because we are going today, we shall be able to furnish this house with enough information, but I will request that the Teacher Service Commission themselves, we shall invite them, and I shall invite the honorable member and interested members to come before the committee and be able to interrogate this issue further, and therefore develop a very proper policy on employment of teachers, especially putting into regard the age. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We can move to the next statement. That's the one by the Honorable Tom Boyer, member for Nyatike. Are you present?
I'm here.
Okay, give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to request for a statement regarding the state of the infrastructure of Kenya Power in Nyatike constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the state of the infrastructure of Kenya Power within Nyatike constituency and its impact on power supply in the area. Honorable Speaker, the electricity transmission and distribution infrastructure in Nyatike is currently in a state of disrepair. Across all the 7 wards of the constituency, residents of Nyatike have raised serious concerns regarding exposed charging and fallen power lines, dilapidated poles, and malfunctioning transformers. These unsafe installations have caused multiple injuries to residents, especially during the rainy season, when the risk of electrocution becomes even higher. On Tuesday, 22nd April 2025, Mr. William Onyango was electrocuted by a fallen electricity wire, sustaining serious injuries, and is currently recuperating in a hospital. There are multiple cases of people being injured due to unsafe power lines and other faulty installations in the constituency. Additionally, Nyatike has been facing frequent and prolonged power outages, causing significant disruption to both social and economic activities in the area. The impact of these outages is far-reaching, with businesses reporting substantial financial losses due to the inability to operate consistently. Critical operations in hospitals are at risk due to absence or failure of power backups. The blackouts have also heightened insecurity in Nyatike due to non-operational streetlights and security systems. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. 1, status of replacement and maintenance of dilapidated power transmission and distribution infrastructure, including collapsed poles and hanging live wires in Nyatike constituency. Report on the causes of the frequent and prolonged power outages in Nyatike constituency and steps that the Ministry of Energy is taking to address and prevent the outages, including expected timelines for the implementation of strategies to alleviate the current crisis. Number 3, the measures that the ministry has put in place to compensate Mr. William Onyango, including reimbursement for medical expenses and consequential losses suffered by the family of Mr. Onyango, indicating specific timelines, and report on the number of victims and or deaths that have occurred due to faulty power infrastructure since 2017, and whether compensation of the same has been finalized. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Energy, or a representative. Okay, on behalf of Majority Leader, who's available? Oh, yes, yes, Honorable Gikaria, you're here. Proceed. We need your undertaking.
Okay. I was there twice, actually.
Go to the next mic. I think the one next to you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Because of the sensitivity of the issue, Honorable Speaker, we request 2 weeks after recess. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Okay, and honorable members, we shall go back to request for statement number 1, which was supposed to be given by Honorable Mungale, member for Lunga Lunga. I think he's now back in the House. Could you proceed?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the status of construction of Lunga Lunga Sub-County Headquarters. Honorable Speaker, the establishment of Lunga Lunga Sub-County was initiated in 2012, with the construction of its headquarters commencing in Lunga Lunga town in the same year. Regrettably, the project has stalled for over 4 years, and there are current no indications of its resumption. Honorable Speaker, the absence of the fully functioned sub-county headquarters has severely hampered effective service delivery in Lunga Lunga. Public officers, including the county commissioner and head of departments, have been forced to operate from temporary, inadequate facilities, compromising efficiency, coordination, and accessibility of government services to the people. This situation has not only delayed critical administrative function, but also undermined the confidence of residents in government operations at their grassroots level. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following: the current progress of the construction of the Lunga Lunga Sub-County Headquarters, and second, the measures, if any, being undertaken to expedite its completion in order to provide proper office space for the county commissioner, heads of department, and other public officers intended to operate from these premises. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is that also to be committed on by the Chair, Departmental Committee on Energy? The Chair, Administration, National Security? Any member of the Committee on Administration and Internal Affairs? Yes, address the matter on behalf of the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, now that we are proceeding for recess, I think the response will be available 2 weeks after we return from recess. Thank you.
2 weeks, unless the member has something more to say. The Honorable Chief Romondo, 2 weeks.
Thank you, Chair. Because the response needs a lot of research to get to know where the project has reached and the contract period and all that. I accept that 2 weeks after recess is fine. Thank you.
2 weeks it shall be. Question number 5 on the order paper by the Honorable Amina Mnyazi. The question number 5 on the list for statements is deferred until the member comes to the House or to the future. Question number 6, the question by Honorable Joseph Tunoi. Tonui.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to issue this statement. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works regarding the stall construction of the Olengurwane Stadium. Honorable Speaker, the construction of the Olengurwane Stadium commenced in the year 2012.
Honorable Tonu, you're not audible to the House.
And Honorable Speaker, the construction of the Olengurwane Stadium commenced in the year 2012 under the national government through the Ministry of Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. However, more than a decade later, the project remains incomplete. This prolonged delay in the construction has not only denied residents access to vital public sporting facility, but also exposed the site to degradation, notably severe soil erosion has taken toll on the parts of the stadium grounds, posing a significant risk of structural collapse and potential loss of public investment if urgent remedial action is not taken. Moreover, with the reported transfer of the project to the county government of Nakuru, it is imperative to clarify whether this was done in accordance with the law. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works on the following. Number one, the terms under which the construction of the Olengurwane Stadium, which was being undertaken by the national government through the Ministry of Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, was transferred to the county government of Nakuru. Number two, full details of the contract sum for the project, including the total amount paid out at the time of transfer, the outstanding balance, and any indication of the corresponding funds were lawfully and fully transferred to the county government of Nakuru, and whether the process was done according to the law. Number three, reasons that led to the contractor to abandon the construction site despite having received public funds, and what legal action, if any, has been taken to enforce compliance with the contract terms or recover misuse of public funds. Number four, the specific measures or plans the ministry has put in place to ensure that the completion of the stall construction of Olengurwane Stadium. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, that is fine. The chair, the Departmental Committee, Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works. Yeah, the Vice Chair, the Honorable Rindikiri. Please commit.
Yes, I've listened to the statement and the requests. We are proceeding on the 1 month recess. I promise that within 2 weeks of opening, we shall deliver the report.
Honorable Tunui.
Thank you, Speaker. I am satisfied with the 2 weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, 2 weeks it is. Number 7. Question number 7, the question by Honorable Cynthia Muge, MP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson Departmental Committee on Labor regarding the welfare of Kenyans working in the Middle East. Honorable Speaker, in November 2024, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection launched a job recruitment program for connecting skilled and semi-skilled Kenyans with overseas employment opportunities, particularly, Honorable Speaker, in the Gulf countries. Those are Qatar, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. This program, which targets placing 21,000 Kenyans in overseas jobs in the first phase, Honorable Speaker, is part of Kenya Kwanza's broader strategy to address high unemployment rates, especially among the youth. Those are the people between 18 and 34 years old, which make 35% of the total population of this country. The ministry, Honorable Speaker, contracted accredited private agencies, one of them being the Blue Wave International Services Limited, that was to facilitate recruitment to the UAE, and partnered with the Youth Enterprise Fund to provide soft loans that ranged from 185,000 to a tune of 650,000 shillings to cover for agency fees, the air tickets, the visas, the medical expenses. That is for the successful youth, Honorable Speaker. Whereas the ministry's initiative demonstrates a proactive approach to reducing unemployment by tapping into the opportunities in the global labor markets, several concerns have been raised about the process. Notably, Honorable Speaker, there are claims of exploitation and unethical practices during recruitment, where some private agencies charge illegal fees or mismanage funds meant for job seekers.
The Honorable Rachel Nyamai, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, I just noted that the Honorable Farah Maalim was sitting in the House. And though I've been around for long, I do not know the exact rule about eating in the August House. Actually, he has been eating nuts. The nuts are here, Honorable Speaker. He has eaten. He did not even give me a piece to eat. And he left the nuts here, Honorable Speaker. The nuts have been left here. I don't know whether for me to continue eating or to do what. So I just want to know, and also so that those who are in their first term can learn, is it allowed to eat, Honorable Speaker, in the August House? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The nuts are here, evidence presented to you. Exhibit, Honorable Speaker.
Farah Maalim, understanding order number 1, the Speaker directs the Sergeant at Arms to take that foodstuff out of the plenary. And I'm doing this not only under the rules, but also for you are choosing to eat alone. Honorable Rachel Nyamai is sitting near you. The minority whip, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm just concerned about the fact that you have done this under standing order number 1, which is discretionary of the Speaker. How sure are we that you are not yourself going to partake of the nuts as the Speaker?
You are challenging the discretion of the Speaker, and that is not permitted. In fact, it could be disorderly minority whip. The Speaker has directed that the nuts be taken away from the plenary by the Sergeant at Arms, and the Speaker has reasonable means to buy own nuts. The Speaker certainly is not going to pursue those nuts. Where are we?
Honorable Speaker,
yes, Honorable Cynthia Muge, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'll pick up from my second point, where the Honorable Speaker, whereas the ministry's initiative demonstrates a proactive approach to reducing unemployment by tapping into the opportunities in the global labor markets, several concerns have been raised about the process. Notably, Honorable Speaker, there have been claims of exploitation and unethical practices during recruitment, where some private agencies charge illegal fees or mismanage funds meant for job seekers. They have also subjected the job seekers to debt bondage, due to the loans that have been tied directly to recruitment agents' accounts, and challenges of compliance with bilateral agreements in countries where labor laws may not adequately protect migrant workers. This situation, Honorable Speaker, necessitates government intervention to streamline the process for a long-term success. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor on the following matters. One, Honorable Speaker, the number of Kenyans that have been recruited to work in the Middle East, particularly in Qatar, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, including specific sectors to which they were hired and the number of workers exported in each category in the specified countries. Honorable Speaker, I emphasize that there is a lot of importance in data. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I want the Departmental Committee on Labor chairperson to tell us or give us the measures that have been put in place by the ministry to protect Kenyan migrants workers from exploitation and ensure compliance with bilateral agreements in countries where labor laws may not adequately protect them. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the oversight mechanisms by the ministry to ensure that private recruitment agencies operate ethically and comply with the law to curb abuses such as human trafficking, among other issues that have been on the forefront currently, lately, Honorable Speaker. With that, Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
The Chair of the Labour Committee. Yes. Are you responding on behalf of the Chair, or you have?
No, I'm commenting.
You have a comments before the Chair takes for this. Okay, the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say the statement by Honorable Cynthia is of paramount importance in this House. Honorable Speaker, bearing in mind that export of labor from this country is one of the key pillars that we are working under so that we can have our young people working outside our country. Honorable Speaker, it is very, very important, as she has stated, that bilateral agreements must be signed and must be adhered to so that we can avoid loss of life and mistreatment for the people that we take out there to work. Honorable Speaker, this is a very timely statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to thank Honorable Cynthia Muge for raising this issue, and especially the concerns over issues of possibility of trafficking of persons. And we have seen very many cases of women who are mistreated when they're out. Mr. Speaker, I'm just requesting that if the Honorable Member could consider asking the relevant ministry to consider long-term change of policy. Many countries with migrant workers are working towards employment opportunities at home. If you go to the Philippines, everybody who wants to get elected gets one, their agenda is how to see their own people back home. They are moving away from sending their people home, away from home, but we are doing a deliberate policy to send people away from home. Can we consider, is it something that you can consider as a policy, if it could be raised, of creating jobs at home, however humble they are? Thank you.
There being no further interest in enriching the... yes, the Honorable Chair of the Proceedings.
Honorable Speaker, I want to echo what Millie has indicated. Honorable Speaker, this aspect of export of labor, it is becoming a menace. Just as the other day we saw on the television, now the government is being accused itself. You can imagine if a government is being accused that they have taken people's money and they have not been able to deliver their promises. I think what Millie has said, Honorable Speaker, we need to do a deliberate effort on a policy to be able to create jobs locally here. Instead of, we appreciate that the diaspora and what is remitted back to the country really assists in the economic growth. But it is important, Honorable Speaker, that we do and deliberately put into place measures that will create jobs locally, particularly on matters to do with industrialization and manufacturing, because that is key. And what you are doing from the counties through the national government, I think that is where we need to go, Honorable Speaker, so that we can be able, instead of all this madness of sending our children to be, mistreated away from the country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Kaluma. Can you give Honorable Kaluma the mic?
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm just from a meeting by IMF and World Bank, where it was confirmed that by 2035, barely 10 years from now, we'll be having a population surge of 1.2 billion young people seeking opportunities for jobs.
In the globe.
Across the globe. And the numbers are even bigger in developing countries. I know Kenya is listed as a middle income economy, Honorable Speaker, and I'm emphasizing this because I saw the President mention somewhere in China that unlike other East African community nations, Kenya is a middle income economy. The others still remain listed as least developed countries, and then the media was running around saying that is undermining the other states. That, of course, is the fact, and Kenya is at a disadvantage because of that categorization as a middle-income state, as the President explained. But, Honorable Speaker, the consequence is that we may not have sufficient engagement or job opportunities for our young people. And this would necessitate that where our young population is surging, they will be seeking opportunities in states where the older population are the majority. What needs to be interrogated by the committee as they respond back to us, Honorable Speaker, is how we can ensure that our people, the citizens of Kenya going outside of our territory, have job opportunities, can participate in the local economy, but are also protected in terms of the surrounding labor practices. And I think this should not be looked at just in terms of the Middle East, but globally, all across. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, this current administration, I have to commend the President. He's doing very well. When I was in Washington, I was shocked. From Moma Bay Town constituency alone, in the last 1 year, over 17 primary school teachers who upgraded their levels of studies to graduate have gone to the United States. And then teachers who are struggling, sometimes without even adequate fare, are driving me around Washington, around Virginia, around Maryland. So we must avail ourselves of those opportunities and encourage government to create these opportunities, but on properly regulated terms, so that our citizens can meaningfully engage while they are also safe wherever they are. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I think the previous, the Honorable Gakuria, and for the benefit of the House, maybe one needs to see the thin line between labor export and brain drain. When you export out of the country drivers and security guards and maids, I mean, how much is that a brain drain? That's not a brain drain. And it's important that the nation, in my opinion, the chair notes that there's a need for both protection for the people who go there for casual purposes and they do not need any skills, but at the same time, to see if some of the skills can be retained in here, particularly for industrialization. But I don't know how much of that industrial labor, blue collar, cadre, goes to the Middle East to go and work in industries in the Middle East. Yes, Honorable Adan of. Can you give the mic to Honorable Adan?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I also stand to add to my voice that it is crucial that we try to look for jobs for our youth. Currently, the number of youth out of school, those who finished universities with certificates, those who finished other lower cadre colleges with diplomas, those who dropped out of school at maybe primary and secondary school level, who are in every household in this country, is seriously alarming. Looking at our environment, I am not seeing in the near future where we can create adequate jobs for all these youth. So this issue of looking for jobs outside the country is very crucial. Even if they don't remit back anything to this country, even if they only take care of themselves wherever they are, feed themselves, feed their families, just to themselves, that itself is very, very important. And when we see, as you said, the number of people going out there or looking for these jobs, and the jobs which are available there, there's no opportunity of what we call a brain drain. We already have too many brains in this country to fit into the economy of this country. So even if we send to other countries a few of those very highly skilled people out there, we still have many more in the country who can satisfy the market within the country. And therefore, much as it is very important
Honorable Aden, this is now a debate. You need to raise issues that you think will enrich the statement that is sought. Don't debate the matter. Madam Muge has asked for a statement. If you think you have additional information to include into that so that the chair can take note of that, and when the chair is responding, is able to encompass all that. That is the sense of allowing a few more people to partake in this statement sought. But
the only thing I will add is that when the chair is looking at this issue, there should be very stratified objectives of making sure that the Kenyans who are going out, their safety, their security, and their working environment should be satisfied and corrected. Thank you.
That's noted. Madam Nyamai, you have something to add to?
Yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to add my voice to this matter that has been raised by the Honorable Cynthia Muge, which is extremely important, Honorable Speaker. And the biggest concern, Mr. Speaker, is our children, the children that we are seeing out there, or our young people out there who are suffering in the Middle East. And I think what I would encourage the committee to do is to encourage the Ministry of Labor to get more involved, especially with the private agencies, because I think that is where the problem is. They must be regulated by government. I think this is something that the committee must look into, and also try as much as possible to monitor them when they get there, evaluate the places where they go, and ensure that even the country is able to benefit from them through the remittances and also some form of giving back to the country through taxation. Although these days people seem not to like the word taxation, but I believe that we are producing more graduates than we can absorb. So to me, this jobs Maju is a big idea from the president, and we must laud government for it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Oundo, and then the Honorable, yes, the Lady Martha, yes. Please be very brief and just, if there's any gap that was left you feel that should be included in the statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And, just add that.
I just request the committee, the chair of the committee, while responding to the matter, they need to be very deliberate in their answer. And you have clearly said there's a difference between dumping excess labor and brain drain. Indeed, what we are doing currently going to Middle East, this dumping excess labor, they were promised jobs, and it was all stories. Now they have been left on their own. All they can do is to go and suffer outside there. We need to stratify those who are in the Middle East. What's the cadre of the jobs they are doing? Are they manual jobs? Are they intellectual stimulating jobs? What kind of jobs are they doing? So that we just don't simply pick all the hustlers that were promised jobs and they are being dumped, so they are being dumped in the Middle East. Thank you.
Yes, the Honorable Martha. Yes, it's you. Who is that? I'm a little bit short-sighted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I want to support what everybody's saying here. The security of our young people who go out to look for jobs is very, very critical, because we have seen cases where they come back when they're in coffins, and circumstances leading to such deaths is never known, and nobody ever follows to the end. I just want to highlight the fact that we need to know how many of our young people need jobs abroad. We need statistics so that we know the number of young people that go out to look for jobs, the kind of jobs that they're going to do, so that we do not export too many out of the country and leave ourselves with nobody, so that we also have some people working for us. Otherwise, we shall empty the country and everybody will be going abroad for further studies with no control. So my appeal to the committee is to look at the number of the statistics that is required for those that need to get jobs out and those that remain. Otherwise, we shall suffer the brain drain. We need other people to work for us as well, young people. Thank you.
The last one on this, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Westlands, Timothy Wanyonyi. The last
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
enrichment of the statement, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, while looking for jobs for our young people abroad is a noble thing, but Mr. Speaker, it needs to be regulated by the government, because they're mushrooming illegal agencies that are fleecing our young people. They're getting as much money from them and then just abandoning them or disappearing without anything. So the government must be serious about it, regulate it, and make sure even those agencies peddling this, they must be properly, Mr. Speaker, regulated by the government. Thank you.
Fair enough. The MP for Kesses is the very last one now. And then make sure that you raise issues that have not been raised.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I think all our discussion from members who have contributed surrounds about establishing clear framework. Because over time, we've had the government through the ministry speaking about labor migration, signing of bilateral agreements and arrangements. But the big question that should be asked by this honorable House, where is this legal framework that is so fundamental that will protect the rights of Kenyans under the Constitution of Kenya, that is supreme law, remembering that Kenya is a supreme country. And for that purpose, if we are going to have this discussion, yes, I understand we want to respond to the challenges of our unemployment for our youth in our country. But sometimes we end up exposing our children to countries that are predators. They want to predate on our labor, on our trained skills. Remember, Kenya is rated as the best country among those who have proper training facilities on our human resource. The other day we saw a report in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital where nurses who have been trained, who have acquired experience to provide services, healthcare services and support of nursing at the only second referral hospital, most of them have left the country. Now the institution is struggling. They don't have enough budget to go back to employ. And even if they go back to market to employ, where are they going to get people who have been trained to handle special cases of referral? Remember, a facility like Moi Teaching and Referral, which is a referral facility, has got special cases of treatment and handling of those patients that require specific nurses to handle that. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it is rightful that this House needs to rise, and let us begin to think around and guide on these ones. Thank you so much, Mr.
The chair of the committee or a member of the committee who is going to, or the majority leader, majority whip, who is here for this matter? We don't have the majority leader, ML, the minority leader, the deputies. Is there a member of the Labour Committee here in the House? Millie, can you now take this responsibility on behalf of the House? Because you have a collective responsibility. And I presume now that you have a broad-based government, you should be willing to take certain responsibility for your colleagues in the government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have a broad-based arrangement. And within that broad-based arrangement, Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking carefully as a lawyer. And within that broad-based arrangement, Mr. Speaker, I undertake that this matter will be responded to within 2 weeks of return because of its urgency.
Within 2 weeks? After we resume. Okay, fair enough. The next one is the honorable member from Msambweni, Faisal Bada.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Nimesimama kuweka ombi la kauli kuhusu unyekuzi wa ardhi ya msikiti wa Kongo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa mujibu wa kanuni za kudumu 44(2)(c), nasimama kuomba kauli kutoka kwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya kiidara ya ardhi kuhusiana na unyekuzi wa ardhi ya umma ya msikiti wa Kongo katika eneo bunge la Msambweni. Mheshimiwa Spika, msikiti wa Kongo una dhima ya kihistoria na kidini kwa kuwa ulijengwa katika karne ya 14 ya awali na Wajemi. Mheshimiwa Spika, Wajemi ni Persians. Msikiti huu ulitambuliwa kwa mara ya kwanza kama kumbukumbu la kitaifa na serikali ya kikoloni mnamo mwezi Juni mwaka wa 1927. Baada ya Kenya kupata uhuru, msikiti wa Kongo pamoja na ardhi inayoizunguka ulitangazwa rasmi kuwa kumbukumbu la kitaifa lililolindwa chini ya sheria. Hata hivyo, mnamo mwaka 1986 inadaiwa kwamba watu fulani walishirikiana na maafisa waandamizi wa serikali kutekeleza njama ya kumilikishwa ardhi hiyo kwa rais wa wakati huo, hayati Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, kwa njia ya udanganyifu na isiyo ya halali. Mnamo mwaka wa 2009, akiwa amestaafu, hayati Rais Moi alifahamishwa kuhusu umilikishaji huo usio halali na kwa hiari yake alirejesha hati miliki ya ardhi hiyo kwa msajili wa hati. Hatua hii ilipelekea kubatilishwa kwa hati miliki hiyo na kurejesha hali ya umiliki wa ardhi hiyo kuwa ya umma kama ilivyotambuliwa tangu mwaka wa 1927. Mheshimiwa Spika, kutokana na hatua hizo, serikali ilitenga ardhi hiyo kwa manufaa ya jamii ya Waislamu wanaoswali katika msikiti wa Kongo na kutoa hati mbili. Hati nambari 55034 kwa msikiti wa Kongo na hati nambari 55035 kwa kituo cha Kiislamu wa Kwale. Serikali iliteua katibu mtendaji katika Wizara ya Hazina ya Taifa kuwa mdhamini wa hati miliki za ardhi hiyo. Mnamo mwaka wa 2012, aliyekuwa waziri mkuu wakati huo, Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga maarufu Baba, alizikabidhi hati miliki hizo kwa jamii nufaika. Mheshimiwa Spika, mnamo mwezi Machi mwaka 2025, jamii hiyo ilishangaa kugundua kuwa kipande hicho cha ardhi kilikuwa kimetangazwa kuuzwa kwa bei ya shilingi bilioni 1,445,000. Watu wanaodaiwa kumiliki ardhi hiyo ni Bwana Mohamed Hamisi Mwachumba na Bwana Ali Mwadarashi Mwagariche, wanaodai kuwa walipata hati miliki ya ardhi hiyo tarehe 17 Februari mwaka 2025. Jambo ambalo linastabisha ikifahamika kwamba ardhi hiyo imekuwa ya umma tangu mwaka wa 1927 na kudumishwa baada ya Kenya kuwa nchi huru. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kutokana na hali hii ndipo ninaomba kauli kutoka kwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya kiidara ya ardhi kuhusu masuala yafuatayo. 1. maelezo kuhusu namna ambavyo ardhi ya msikiti wa Kongo inayojulikana kuwa ya umma na iliyotangazwa kama eneo la kumbukumbu la kitaifa lililolindwa ilisajiliwa kwa umiliki wa kibinafsi. 2. Hatua zinazochukuliwa na Wizara ya Ardhi pamoja na Tume ya Kitaifa ya Ardhi kukabiliana na unyakuzi huu wa ardhi ya msikiti wa Kongo. 3. Mikakati iliyowekwa kulinda eneo hilo kama kumbukumbu la kitaifa linalolindwa. Na 4 na ya mwisho ni maelezo ya kina kuhusu jinsi wizara pamoja na Tume ya Kitaifa ya Ardhi zinavyokusudia kuwezesha kurejeshwa kwa ardhi hiyo kwa wamiliki halali ambao ni jamii ya Waislamu wa msikiti wa Kongo. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Kuna mheshimiwa wowote kuchangia hiyo? Mheshimiwa dada yetu kutoka sehemu hizo pia Mombasa nafikiri.
Basi asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Nami pia nibaki katika kumbukumbu za bunge hili kuunga mkono hoja iliyoletwa na Mheshimiwa mbunge wa Msambweni ambaye ametoka katika constituency mojawapo ambayo mimi pia ninamiliki. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama watu wa Kwale tulitamaushwa pakubwa na jambo hili. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi naiunga mkono hoja hii kwa sababu ni mtoto wa Kiislamu na ninaielewa historia kamili kama vile Mheshimiwa Faisal alivyoizungumzia. Mheshimiwa Spika, ardhi ya Kongo ya msikiti ni mahali patakatifu. Ni jambo la kuchangaza wezi, mimi nitawaita wezi, walaghai, waliokuja na kuweza kusema ardhi ile wao ndio wamiliki. Historia inajieleza vizuri sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba ardhi ile ni ardhi ya msikiti. Na ilipatikana kwa njia gani? Historia Mheshimiwa Faisal ameieleza. Haiwezekani kuwa mtu ametokezea hivi majuzi na anasema anataka kumiliki ardhi ile. Ile ni ardhi ya kihistoria. Mheshimiwa Spika, ardhi ya Kongo haiuziki na haiwezi kuuzwa. Ninalaani vikali jambo hili na pia na mimi naongezea kamati ya ardhi ya bunge hili iweze kuingilia kati, lakini historia inajieleza vizuri sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika na nikome hapo.
Mheshimiwa wa Keses, uangalie jinsi unavyoweza kuboresha hiyo
Mr. Speaker, unanipatia mtihani mkubwa sana.
Endelea basi.
Waje niongee kwa lugha ya Kimombo. Nitaongea kwa lugha ya Kimombo.
Sasa.
Asante. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. In any case, even if I want to respond word by word, be very sure that the Honorable Member Msambweni has already confused me. Deep words in the Swahili that I could not even fathom some of them. Now, Mr. Speaker, but on this particular issue, it is increasingly becoming a big problem where either public land or community land are changing hands all of a sudden, and it's becoming rampant. Of late, we are realizing a lot of cases here and there. Not even forgetting that we have a pending serious issue, grievous issue that has involved people dying.
Unachangia hoja, sisi tunataka uchangie ile statement inaitwaje kwa Kiswahili?
Kauli.
Kawira.
Kauli.
Kauli. Wewe unachangia usaidie ile kauli changia kauli. Usianze hoja. Bwana Kaluma.
Asante. So, ninapochangia Bwana Speaker ni kwamba imebidi kupitia mambo kama haya ambayo yametukia kila mahali, kwamba wizara husika ianze kuangazia ni nini kinaleta shida.
Imetosha.
Asante.
Mheshimiwa Kaluma. Inaitwa nidhamu kwa Kiswahili, point of order. Sema Bwana Kaluma. Hebu mpe.
Honorable Speaker, I'm standing under Article 27 of the Constitution, which speaks to the matter that nobody shall be discriminated based on any consideration, including language.
Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, the question being raised by Honorable Faisal Bade here. It's a very serious question. I remember the last time I saw Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga is when he was meeting the PS for lands over this very matter. Yes. And you know, when Baba meets and commits by any means, including on X account, that action is being taken, it is a serious issue. It is also serious because it is concerning a mosque. And people of the Islamic faith should be considered in terms of how we respect all places of worship. Honorable Speaker, why I'm standing under Standing Order number 27 is to ask whether...
Under Constitutional Article 27.
Article 27 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Is to ask whether the Honorable Member and the Chair of the relevant committee or his representative are right, Honorable, to address such a serious matter in Kiswahili when members who feel deeply about it, like us, whose disabilities in that language are well known, are in the House, Honorable Member. Could you direct the members to ask this question in English so that we can participate like any other member?
Kaluma, nidhamu. Mheshimiwa Kaluma, katika nidhamu yetu na katika katiba yetu ni lugha mbili ambao unaweza kuzungumzia katika bunge. Ni Kiswahili na Kizungu. Kwa hivyo kama amezungumzia Kiswahili ako kwenye nidhamu. Mheshimiwa Kore. Anen Mayaka.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii niweze kuchangia hoja hii muhimu. Na mimi itasema kwamba naliunga mkono hoja ya Mheshimiwa kuhusu msikiti wa Kongo. Na Mheshimiwa, mambo kuhusu ardhi imekuwa ardhi, hasa ardhi za sehemu za kidini, imekuwa ni donda sugu katika nchi hii. Mheshimiwa, tumepata msukosuko mingi katika sehemu za sala, iwe ni kanisa, iwe ni misikiti, kuhusu ardhi na majibizano kuhusu uongozi wa sehemu hizo. Lakini ardhi imekuwa ni jambo ambalo limeleta matatizo mengi sana katika sehemu zetu za dini. Na Mheshimiwa, ningependa kamati wakati watakapokuwa naangalia hoja hili kuhusu msikiti wa Kongo, wasiangalie msikiti wa Kongo peke yake, waangalie katika sehemu zote za dini ambazo ziko na mabishano kuhusu ardhi, iwe ni kanisa, iwe ni misikiti katika nchi hii. Tunajua hapa Nairobi wiki iliyopita tulipata matatizo katika msikiti wa Majengo. Tunajua msikiti wa Jamia hapa Globe, hapa Njiru pia watu waliumizana juzi kuhusu mabishano kuhusu ardhi. Kisumu kulikuwa na mabishano kuhusu msikiti na kanisa, hadi msikiti wenyewe ukapewa jina ambaye ni inahusisha madini zote mbili. Kwa hivyo majibizano aina hii kuhusu ardhi katika sehemu za maombi ni nyingi, na ningependa kamati iangazie sehemu zote ambazo ziko na mabishano. Asante.
Amekusikia kamati Mayaka, alafu chairman ya
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kuchangia kauli ya Mheshimiwa ambayo sana sana yazungumzia swala la ardhi za kihistoria. Mheshimiwa Spika, ardhi za kihistoria na ardhi za kidini ni mambo ambayo kamati ambayo inaitwa National Heritage ama kamati ya kukuza kitaifa inafaa iangalie kabisa swala hili, na inafaa ya kuwa tuwe na sera ama policy ili tuweze kujua kama taifa, katika taifa letu la Kenya, ni wapi ambapo tuko na ardhi za kihistoria ambazo hazijateuliwa, ambazo hazijalindwa, ambazo hazijazingatiwa kwenye sheria, ili tuweze kuhakikisha ya kwamba zimekuwa na ulinzi ambao uko tafakari kabisa. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru Mheshimiwa huyu kwa kuleta kauli hili, na ningependa kwamba kamati ambayo itaenda kuangalia jambo hili liweze kuangalia ni sera gani ambayo tunaweza leta ili tupate swala hili la ardhi za kihistoria kuweza kutatuliwa kihaswa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Mheshimiwa, alafu kisha tutamsikiza mwenyekiti wa kamati.
Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi ningependa kuchukua nafasi hii ili niweze kuunga mkono hoja hili ambayo imeletwa na Mheshimiwa Faisal. Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo ya ardhi katika nchi hii imekuwa chanzo ya watu kuuana, imekuwa chanzo ya watu kunyakua ardhi ambayo si yao, ardhi ambayo ni ya community. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi kwangu nimeongea na Mheshimiwa Faisal hapa. Na nimewahi kuuliza yeye ni kiasi gani ya hili shamba imenyakuliwa. Na ameniambia ni eka 16. Bwana Spika, hili ni jambo ambalo hata inasidi wale ambao wanahusika, kamati ambao wanahusika na hii. Na Bwana Spika, mimi ningependa kupendekeza ya kwamba waziri wa ardhi mwenyewe aweze kufika hapa baada ya likizo ambayo tunaelekea leo. Bwana Spika, hili ni jambo ambalo ni gumu sana. Kwa sababu hata mashule mengine, hata kwangu, kuna watu ambao wamenyakua shamba ya shule huko kwetu. Na hili ni kitu ambacho lazima serikali ishughulikie kwa njia ambayo inatakikana. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi napendekeza ya kwamba waziri wa ardhi mwenyewe afika hapa ili aweze kutueleza mambo mengi ambayo inahusu ardhi.
Mheshimiwa Nyekal, alafu kisha tutamsikiza mwenyekiti. Kidogo mwenyekiti, tumsikize Mheshimiwa Nyekal wa mwisho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want the committee to look at a much deeper question relating to land. The problem is so much that the documents that we use for land procedures and processes are no longer look valid. When the committee is looking at this, can they really look at documents like a search certificate? What does it mean you have a search certificate and then later on you find that the search certificate did not reveal all the details about the land? Why then should citizens pay for that certificate? Two, what we call titles. People have titles and yet transactions can go on and later on the title is found to be invalid. And these are government documents. Where is the process and what do we do? And we need another way of actually using documents that have detailed information which the government can take responsibility for. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti ya kamati la ardhi. Oh, unataka kuchangia? Na ni wapi kama mwenyekiti wa kamati ya ardhi? Kuna mtu yeyote kutoka hiyo kamati hapa katika bunge? Haya, Mheshimiwa endelea, alafu hiyo yako ni ya mwisho kabisa kuchangia hiyo.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Mwanzo nichangie ndugu yangu Faisal kwa ile mambo ambaye amesema. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, kitu cha kwanza ambaye sijui katika ombi ya hiyo request yake kama alisema, Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuwezi kuwa na land officers ambaye wanashiriki kwenda kufanya maovu haya ambaye anakuja kubadilisha hata kunyakua misikiti na ardhi za makanisa. Kwa hivyo sijui kama ndani ya tungeomba kamati watoe hukumu ama inaitwaje? Hiyo hukumu kwa wale ambaye waofisa wa mashamba walihusika katika ubadilishaji wa haya. Pili, vile ndugu yangu amesema kulete waziri hapa. Mbeleni tuliambiwa ya kwamba wanaenda katika system ya kidijitali kuweka mashamba katika system ndio tuweze kuondoa, pengine ndio tuweze kujua kama hiyo system ya kidijitali inaendelea katika ile kusajilisha wamiliki wa mashamba, kwa sababu tukiendelea na hii mambo ya kawaida hii ya manyu, hiyo ndio inatusumbua zaidi. Kwa hivyo ningependa kamati itoe hukumu kwa wale maofisa wa mashamba ambayo walihusika katika uporaji wa shamba hili la msikiti. Asante
kama hakuna mtu kutoka ni Naomi, Mheshimiwa Naomi, wewe ni naibu wa naitwa nini?
Kiranja.
Wewe ni naibu wa kiranja la chama cha wale wengi.
Yes.
Unaweza kutueleza utapeana ahadi fulani ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumepata majibu kuhusu yale kauli?
Ndio naweza peana, na kwa sababu tunaenda on recess sasa, tukisharudi
recess kwa Kiswahili inaitwa nini? Likizo.
Likizo tunaenda kwa likizo, na baada ya kutoka kwa hiyo likizo tukipata muda ya wiki 2 itakuwa sawa.
It's so directed.
Asante.
Now, next one is the Honorable Member Victor Koech, MP for Chepalungu. MP for Chepalungu, proceed and put the request for your statement.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife regarding the serious human life conflicts currently being experienced in parts of Chepalungu constituency. Honorable Speaker, on the 18th March 2025, the late Kevin Kipkemoing Etich, son of Mr. Paul Ruto, tragically lost his life after being attacked by a crocodile while washing clothes in Chepkulo River. Kevin, a 16-year-old from 3 students at Nogirwet Day Secondary School, had returned home from Sunday service and proceeded to the river to wash his clothes and take a bath. Sadly, 3 hours later, his clothes were found floating midstream, prompting local residents to raise alarm. Upon investigation, a crocodile was sighted, confirming the tragic incident. Honorable Speaker, it is sad to note that despite being informed promptly, officers from the KWS, who are located barely 2 kilometers from the scene, delayed their response by over 6 hours. It was ultimately 2 elderly community members and a youth group who retrieved the body from of the deceased. This is not an isolated incident. Residents of Chepalungu have long suffered repeated human-wildlife conflicts with crocodiles, the hyenas, elephants, and other wild animals frequently attacking and killing people, livestock such as goats and sheep, and even destroying crops. These losses have devastated livelihoods, undermined community security, and severely affected the socio-economic well-being of residents. Further, Honorable Speaker, residents around Chemengwa, Kinyanga, Lugumek, Kabalwa, Kosia, Nogirwet, Kapkulumben, Chebelion, Kaboson, Kamosiro, Kamongil, Kaptumo, and their environs largely depend on casual works offered by conservancies and large-scale farmers across the river. Many also rely on sand harvesting activities along the riverbanks to earn a living, put food on the table, and pay school fees. However, their lives are now endangered by the growing crocodile menace, making daily survival increasingly perilous. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife on the following: a detailed report on the measures taken by the Ministry and the KWS to mitigate human-wildlife conflicts in Chepalungu and the wider Bomet County. 2, Honorable Speaker, an explanation for the delayed response by KWS officers in the incident involving the late Kevin Kipkemoing-Etich, and steps taken to ensure such delays do not recur. 3, Honorable Speaker, information on the compensation, if any, provided to the family of the deceased and to other victims of wildlife attacks in the constituency. Number 4, Honorable Speaker, details of a long-term strategies the ministry is implementing to prevent loss of life, protect livelihoods, and secure communities from recurring wildlife threats. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, number 5 is plans by the ministry to assist affected communities, for instance, construction of at least 2 footbridges across the river under the Kenya Wildlife Service Corporate Social Responsibility (CSR) programs to enhance residents' safety. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We have another statement which is sought by Marianne Keitani for the same committee, and I will direct that you take it also so that they can respond to it all at the same time. These are very similar statements being sought.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44, 2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife regarding an incident of human-wildlife conflict in Chepkilot village in Aldai constituency. Honorable Speaker, there has been an increase of incidents of human-wildlife conflict in Aldai constituency. Notably, on the 14th of April, 2025, a wild animal attacked and killed 6 sheep belonging to Mr. Josiah Kipkemboi Tanui of ID number 22154512 in Chepkilot village in Aldai constituency. The matter was reported to Bonjoge Police Post under OB number OB0514/04/2025. Similarly, on 13th of April 2025, 14 sheep were attacked and killed in the same village by wild animals. The attacks have left the families in a state of fear and agony, while also threatening their livelihoods as the wild animals target their livestock. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson on the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife on the following. 1 is a report on the measures being taken by the government to address the cases of human-wildlife conflict in Aldai constituency, and 2, measures being put in place by the government to compensate Mr. Josiah Kipkemboi Tanui and other victims who have suffered the wildlife attacks in Chepkilot village in Aldai constituency. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
There is not much interest. It's a very straightforward thing. Straightforward statement being sought. Yes, Kurgat, you have something to add to.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just to enrich the question that has been asked, especially by the Member of Parliament from Chepalungu, Victor Koech. Just, first of all, condolences to the loss of that young man. I feel that we need to know, is there any service level agreement, a turnaround time? Because the station that is in the region is barely 2 kilometers away, and they were not able to respond. Why do we have a station there? What is the service level agreement that is existing or that should be there? And secondly, is it possible also to have KWS and the ministry to be able to map all regions in our country so that we know in particular areas, these are the risks that are possibly, possible to happen in particular regions? Because to lose a young man in such a sense of what you've been told is very, very sad, and we should not be able to lose any life if people are informed of the dangers that exist in particular regions. So I think we need to have a broad an information about that, the mapping of all possible regions that could have a conflict between the wildlife and the communities around there. Thank you.
You have already made your point. We just want to listen to the chair of the committee to give an undertaking, and if the chair is not in, then the Deputy Whip of Majority, Honorable Naomi Wako, give an undertaking on where both statements, on both issues, the matter raised by Honorable MP for Chepalungu.
Yeah.
And the MP for Madam Keitani can be responded to because they're very similar.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I'll make sure that we'll pass the message to the chairs. And 2 weeks after our recess, they'll be able to get their response. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable MP for Chepalungu, I hesitate to call you the name you want me to call you. You said you are called Mandazi.
Yes, Mandazi is my name. I wasn't happy you're eating cronuts here. I wish you were eating Mandazi, Honorable Speaker.
You want me to address you as Mandazi? Proceed.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope I don't see somebody else.
I was making a request.
Proceed.
Yes, I was making a request, Mr. Speaker, and I still write to the Departmental Committee Chair on Tourism to appear as a friend to the committee when the DG, together with the PS or any personnel from KWS, will be called by the committee, maybe to respond to this particular statement. I would wish for a direction that I be allowed to attend as a friend to the committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Deputy Whip, Chief Whip, you think you can take that responsibility to create that basically a rendezvous between the honorable member who's seeking the statement and the PS and the people who are involved in that.
Yeah, let me liaise with the chair and then we revert.
Okay.
Thank you.
There is another statement that was sought on this statement by the chairperson of the Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library. We will defer this one to the afternoon. And we defer this one to the afternoon. Now we're going for the responses. There was a status of Mavoko water supply by the Honorable statement, which was sought by the Honorable Joyce Kamene, Machakos County MP, on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. Where is the chair of that committee?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker.
Is Madam Kamene in the House? Yes, I can see you. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, on 4th of March 2025, the Honorable Joyce Kamene, the Member of Parliament from Machakos County, rose to ask a statement in regard to Mavoko water supply. And the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member, was seeking the status of implementation of Mavoko drinking water supply project jointly funded by the Kenya government and the Belgian government. And then number two, the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member was also seeking the steps taken by the ministry to ensure the completion of the project and the expected timelines for its completion. Number three, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member is seeking the interim measures being taken by the ministry to address the water scarcity faced by the residents to protect them from the unscrupulous water vendors in Mavoko. The Honorable Speaker, I have a statement from the CS Water. And the Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Water and Irrigation through the Tanati Water Works Development Agency is responsible for the implementation of Mavoko Water Supply Project. And Mr. Speaker, I wish to respond as follows. On the question number 1, the report of the status of the implementation of Mavoko drinking water supply, which is jointly funded by Kenya and Belgian government, the Honorable Speaker, the contract for the construction of Mavoko water supply was signed in 19 November 2017 between the Tanati Water Works Development Agency and the ASPAC International company by the Belgium. And the contractor, ASPAC International, was granted access to the site for commencement of works on 19 February 2018 for a period of 36 months, giving the intended completion date of the project on 18th August 2020 at a total cost of 2.8 billion funded by the Bank of Belgium government, Mr. Speaker, and also some part of it by the GOK. Mr. Speaker, the scope of work for the project comprised of several interrelated components that collectively enhance the water supply and distribution of infrastructure. The Kenya Meat Commission Dam, Mr. Speaker, was rehabilitated and the intake constructed alongside the pumping station with a 6.2 kilometer raw water pipeline installed to deliver 8,000 cubic meters of water per day to the new water treatment plant. Meanwhile, the East Africa Portland Cement Company Dam underwent their rehabilitation and included the establishing of a pumping station and construction of 3.8 kilometer raw water pipeline to provide an additional 4,000 cubic meters of water per day to the same facility. The new treatment plant capacity has a 12,000 cubic meters of water was constructed. The distribution network was extended by constructing 3.8 kilometers of Nairobi line from Namanga interchange at EBZ and an additional 6.2 kilometers to Greenpark Estate along the Mombasa Road, which also incorporated a 4,000 cubic reservoir and a 3,000 cubic capacity tank of 15 meters high, still elevated, and pumping station. Finally, the bulk supply system was reinforced and rehabilitated. The Knoll to Race water supply line, installing a new pump and repairing 3 existing pumps in Salama Pumping Station 1 and the refurbishing of Kimakiu and the Lukenya reservoirs, each with a capacity of 3,000 cubic meters of water per day. The system is currently operational, Mr. Speaker, and being operated by Mavoko Water and Sanitation Company. The company supplies water from the system up to 200,000 connections. On question number 2, Mr. Speaker, the report of the steps taken by the ministry to ensure the completion of the project and expected timelines for its completion. The project was completed on 21st March 2021 and commissioned on 14th April 2023. Therefore, the construction status is 100% complete. And the project was handed over to to Machakos County Government, and it is being operated by Mavoko Water and Sanitation Company in line with the provisions of Water Act 2016. Currently, the project provides at least 10,000 cubic meters a day of water from a new water treatment plant and 5,000 of water from the Northern Collector Tunnel connected earlier this year to the residents in a mix of domestic, commercial, and industrial area around Mavoko. Honorable Speaker, the areas covered includes Mololongo, at the river, the EBZ zone, Shokimau, Kenanye, Katani, and parts of Lukenya areas. Question number 3, the interim measures being taken by the ministry to address the water scarcity faced by the residents and protect them from the unscrupulous water vendors. Mr. Speaker, the agency notes that Mavoko and Syokimau areas currently face a severe water scarcity due to lack of water and last mile connectivity, which is supposed to be done by the county government of Machakos through Mavoko Water and Sanitation Company. To address the water scarcity, the agency is currently implementing the Mavoko water and sewerage interventions and the extension of pipeline project, which is a last mile intervention project through the government of Kenya, funding with a funding estimated to cost about 585 million. The project is currently at 1% complete, having already spent 183 million and requires a government funding of 402 million to complete. The last mile project aims to connect about 50,000 households and increase the access of 250,000 residents in Syokimau, Mlolongo, and the Athi River. Honorable Speaker, the scope of Mavoko water and sewerage intervention is the extension of the pipeline project, includes the 50-kilometer water distribution line ranging from 63 mm to 250 mm diameters of pipe, linking to about 60-kilometer sewer lines ranging from 200 to 600. The rehabilitation works for existing water supply and sewerage infrastructure, the provisions of water exhaust trucks to provide a technical assistance also to Mavoko water supply. However, this project is faced with the frequent extensions and completion dates due to the delays in Exchequer, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in addition, the ministry through the Nati Water Works Development Agency is preparing the Mavoko Kitengela Last Mile Connectivity Project, which aims to increase the number of households connected to water to an estimated amount of 592 million. And it is currently under the consideration and funding by the national government. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Water and Sanitation and Education through the Tanati Water Works Development Agency is committed to ensure a sufficient, a reliable, a sustainable water supply system for Mlolongo, Athi River, the EVZ areas, the Syokimau, Kenanie, Katani, and parts of Lugenya, the Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, as a chair of the committee, I want to confirm that even these as we go to the financial year 2025-2026, Honorable Speaker, as a committee, after recess, we are going to visit. We are going to visit the area of Mavoko and the Syokimau area, Honorable Speaker, to assess the situation, because already there is a contractor who was given some work. About 183 million has been utilized, and we are seeking to increase the resources, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that the houses or the community around that area have access to water. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The MP for Machakos, Madam Kamene Joyce.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, yes, they have answered the question, but they have not given any timelines, any commitment. Because if this project has taken 10 years, and you have done such a great project, you're being told water is in the tanks, and you're next door, and you cannot access any water. And it is there year after year. How is it that Exchequer is not being released? Money is insufficient, and you did such a big, wonderful project like this. People are suffering from water. Why can't it be given a priority? Because this is revenue. After all, when you start supplying water to the residents around, revenue will be collected. Does it make any sense to make this a white elephant?
Fair enough. Hang on a minute, let Kemei also weigh in on that. You will answer that, let Kemei weigh on that also.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the woman rep
for this statement or this statement to this committee. As much as I appreciate what the chairperson has given concerning Mavoko and the areas, the environs, Honorable Speaker, I live in Syokimau, and for sure, water is very scarce. The residents get water using donkeys, and private vendors exploit the people. So when the chairperson here has said that the ministry is actually going to do the last mile connectivity, this has been the case for the last over 10 years, 15 years. Yet, we pay taxes, or people pay taxes for the same. People pay what is expected of them, not to forget the sewerage, Honorable Speaker. So I feel this answer is not sufficient. There are no timelines the way the county MP has said. It is like there is no seriousness that is given to it, Honorable Speaker.
Fair enough, the Honorable Bowen. The issue is this has been ongoing for 10 good years. Can you be definitive about the exact timeline when the residents of Mavoko are going to enjoy that massive government investment?
The Honorable Speaker, number one, I want to position as a committee, and we have asked the ministry now that the county government don't have that capacity and they don't have the resources. Mr. Speaker, we are also seeking to support the county government because the people who are there, the people who live in Syokimau, the people who live in Kananie, Katani, and those areas, they are also Kenyans who are paying taxes. And we are going to take a deliberate action. And I've said here, Mr. Speaker, that this financial year, 2025-2026, we are going to provide resources to help Mavoko water supply and Machakos County government to do the last mile connectivity for the people around there.
This financial year?
Which is going
to be from June?
Yes.
Fair enough. That's a very firm undertaking, and it's a presumption of the chair that you have already done your work very well. I don't see any more interest in this other than the Honorable, yes. Is it on the same? Yes. What is your issue?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Water supply management across Kenya, all counties being a devolved function, is the problem. It lacks in every county. People are suffering clean, safe water to drink, and the counties look like they do not understand what to do in that sector. We would love all the governors to take this issue seriously, not just Mavoko, even Busia, where I come from. Women travel miles and miles seeking for the same, seeking for water, which ends up bringing up other issues like girls being raped in forests because of this issue. So water is a devolved function, and we need to task the governors to do something about it. Pipe water every month into some homes. At the end of 5 years, we'll have so many homes getting piped water and safe to drink at the same time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On the same? Madam Rachel Nyamai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for also giving me a chance to make a comment, and especially on the matter that is being raised by the Honorable Kamene. And I fully feel her that when a project takes 10 years and people have not benefited, it stops being useful, Honorable Speaker. As much as we put those budgets every financial year, in the corridors of power, Honorable Speaker, the chair, Water, has told us that he believes that projects that are useful in this country are those small projects that are implemented within 1 year or within 2 years, and they are completed and people have access to water. So, Honorable Speaker, because the budget for water is not, it's high. And I think it is important to know that sometimes the committee's hands are tied. I'm not in that committee, but I'm a friend of the chair. And he tells me that you find your hands are tied. You have to deal with WACE, billions and billions and billions. You have to deal with that particular project, billions and billions of shillings. You find yourselves dealing with another project in Tana River. What is it called? Kulalu Galana, billions and billions and billions. But when you look at projects that the committee funds in 1 year, we have dams. The other day he gave us 2 dams in my constituency, and people are taking water. And they are small projects of 20, 30 million up to 100 million. But talking about billions of Wake Dam and expecting this to be a project of Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui. And where we are, for example, in Kitui South, we are 150 kilometers from where that dam is. Billions and billions of shillings will keep going to those huge projects, and the committee doesn't have much control. But we'll keep financing, sorry to say, to the benefit of others. Thank you.
I think there being no further interest on this, we'll go to the next response. The Energy Committee, the statement that was sought by the Honorable Dr. Ojambo Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
It is true, Honorable Speaker, we have a statement from the committee which was sent by the PS, the Principal Secretary in charge of Energy. And I know Honorable Odo is around. I've gone through the statement, Honorable Speaker. One of the questions that was raised is the regulatory framework under which Kudura Power East Africa Limited is operating, generating and supplying water in Western Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the response to that is that Kudura Power East Africa Limited is duly incorporated in the Republic of Kenya as a wholly owned subsidiary of RVE, a Portuguese company. Kudura is a social enterprise focused on providing decentralized renewable energy and sustainable infrastructure solutions to undeserved counties in East Africa. This company focuses on empowering rural and peri-urban areas by addressing critical needs such as clean energy, water access, and sanitation, aligning with the global sustainable development goals, particularly SDG 7, that is affordable and clean energy, and also SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Kudura specializes in integrated system that combines solar energy, water purification, and biogas technology. The company operates under Section 117 of the Energy Act that provides, and I quote, that is Section 117, a person who wishes to carry out generation, exportation, so Honorable Speaker, exportation, importation, transmission, distribution, and retail supply of electricity must apply for a license, as the case may be, to the authority in accordance with the provisions of this Act. Kudura Power East Africa Limited was granted a construction permit by EPRA on the 3rd April 2019 for a period of 1 year for the development of the 10 solar PV mini-grids as listed in Table 1. Honorable Speaker, I hope Honorable Oudo has his, under the table is detailed therein. Before approval of the aforementioned construction permit, Kudura submitted the following documents required for generation, distribution, and